Today we're taking another look at the simple curves. Did you realize this incredible tool is under $20? But that's not all. There's more. I love it when there's more. Let's take a look at the tool. Let's take a look at the back side. A quick little project here. Here's a couple blocks from our last video made with these instructions. Now let's open the card. Look at this fun runner pattern. The instructions are all right here. It's all you need to make this project. Let me show you some samples. My mom made this first one. Isn't it cool? And this one is rich in fall colors. It was made by Kathy Moorhead Johnson. Strong contrasts in this one highlight the wave. It was made by Linda Smith. So there you have it. One great tool, two awesome patterns, all for under $20. What a deal. Let me show you the wavy runner and how it's put together. I'll add a lot of tips and tricks and secrets for ironing, so stay tuned for the whole video. Here's our first strip set. This is A and B of group 1. We've sewn it together using exact 1/4 inch seam allowances and pre-shrunk fabric. Align the center line of the tool to the center seam. Cut around the entire tool. Here's our first curve for group 1. Here's our next strip set, C, D, and E. I lay my tool on, but I'm not really sure where. Well, let's turn it over. I've already marked our line, but let's see how I got there. Fold your fabric in half and finger crease down here at the bottom. This is our center. Find your center and use the seam to find that straight area. Mark down the center, and then we're going to align our tool to that center and create a new mark on our tool using the alignment of the stitch. First on the left and then on the right. This is a Sharpie. Comes right off with some hand sanitizer when you're done with your project. Flip your strip set over. We're going to always cut from the front. Align those two new marks on your tool to the seams. Cut around the entire tool. This is our second piece for group 1. Now we take a look at group 2. It cuts out exactly the same, aligning to the center and aligning to our two new marks, cutting around the entire tool. Let's put these two together. Center, just like we did before. And we're going to lay in our first piece. We need to put right sides together, so flip that bad boy over. Align those centers, the seam and that place we just marked, and we're going to pin right through the center. Normally, my seam allowances would be open, but on this one, I forgot. Now we're going to pull down our first side. See that little mark I said was so important? That's that little tip that we made sure we cut off. That's why it's so important. It aligns to the edge of our other arc. We do this on both sides and pin carefully. Now do a little scooting and you'll see our edges align just right. Now let's sew. Open it up and we have our first set of arcs. Here are group 1 and 2 side by side. We're going to continue adding arcs until we get the desired width of our runner. Now since we're not looking for a bumpy runner, we're going to rotate our group 2. This is going to give us that beautiful wave. Now for those ironing tips. As we look at our piece, you can see the edge has a little bit of a wave of its own. We're going to secure the outside edge first. Let's flip it over and take a look. Now, in these edges, there's not a lot of fabric to hold things together. Think about it's fewer threads. So they're going to want to kind of pull towards that inside. Well, this is what we're going to fix. First, we're going to take a couple pins and start securing things. Let's put a pin in each corner, really starting to give it that pull in the right direction. You can already see it's starting to straighten up. Focus the iron to those little tips. We're going to secure them so that they stay nice and straight. Now that our edge is pretty straight, we're going to flatten down the rest of the seams, but very lightly from the back. Now we're going to head to the other side, unpin, and flip it over. Now you can already see how much flatter and straighter those edges are. From the front, let's get back to the edges and go ahead and firmly press. Go ahead and get the other side. And again, this from the front, we're a lot firmer with it, always making sure those seam allowances stay in the original direction that we've pressed them. Look at those edges. Now we have something that we can sew together. Nice straight edges. Let's take another look at it from the front. If I left it like this, it would open like a book. But if we rotate it around, that's where we get that beautiful wave. So those mirror images really make sense. We're going to pin these two pieces together. We've got them right sides together. The notches are lining up. And let's take a peek. You can see we have our seams at 1/4 of an inch. They match up. Let's take a closer look. See how the blue and purple line up? It matches. So that's what we're looking for. We pin and then continue pinning down the edge. Let's get to sewing now. We want to secure our first edge with a back stitch and then sew an exact 1/4 of an inch down the thing. Now you keep seeing me peeking. Well, this is how I know that that 1/4 of an inch is still aligned. Look at that line. It's just right. So once I get it folded back over, I'm okay to sew down. Continue to keep peeking, checking yourself as you sew down the edge. Don't forget that back stitch right at the end. So we've opened it up from the back and you can see how the seams are going to align. See that perfect angle? It matched just right. And it does on each point. Let's flip it over and you can see it really lines up well. We continue to add more pieces until we get the desired length of our runner. Head over to our website. We have the tool, which of course includes the pattern for the wavy runner. We've got that additional download, and we have so much more. PhillipsFiberArt.com. Hope to see you there.